what's your advice to incubators who are looking to customize their model and really find the needs of their market?
I think what's very important to do is spend time understanding the local market that's literally 15 kilometers surrounding where you want to locate. So what businesses are there, and what do they need? So literally to walk the streets and go around and try and understand what are the requirements. Another important thing that I think many entrepreneurial business or incubators, the ones that are starting up, don't realize is how long it takes. It took Race Corp 5 years and 2 months to make our first profit. That's a long time to wait to be profitable. And many of these incubators do not have the runway, the financial runway, in order to withstand that. So my advice to them is before you start up, and even if you get some other kind of funding, ensure that that funding is sufficient for a 5-year period to the point where that you can become sustainable.
Now tell me, what did you learn about the state of African entrepreneurship at the summit?
Yeah, I learned this is our time. You know, it's very cliched, but you can feel the energy around entrepreneurship. You know, when you switched on TV in Kenya, in Nairobi, the word entrepreneurship was being spoken nearly in every single. As you click through the various channels, the Kenyan channels, they were talking about entrepreneurship. It's in a weird way, it might have been oversold, but there's such an energy around entrepreneurship, such a push towards getting Africans into their own businesses. And I think the next phase is how do we keep them in those businesses, because the failure rate is extremely, extremely high. A failure rate is as high as 90% in the first year. Wow. Were bandied around. So it's around sustainability. I think that's the next thing that we need to solve to get them into business. We've sorted out now. Now it's to keep them in business.
In your opinion, why is the failure rate so high?
The failure rate's high because, in my opinion, most of the businesses that I've seen have no compelling economic right to exist. So what that means is that they have not thought through their reason, their economic reason to exist properly. They haven't thought through what is the product they're selling, how it's differentiated from everyone else. Can they sell it? Is there a market who will buy it? And if they do sell it, will they sell it at a profit? So they get their costings wrong, they get and they get the product wrong. And so with a combination of all these factors, the businesses don't get any traction and don't have the ability then to take off and then subsequently die.
Are South African businesses struggling because of the weak rand?
I think that's a broad question. So those that are exporting are not struggling; they're quite grateful for the weak rand, and those that are importing are ungrateful for the weak rand. So it depends which part of the market you are. But on a whole, I think that a weak rand is good to a point, and then becomes bad, because especially when our input costs are coming from other manufacturers who are importing goods or services. So I don't like a rand that's at 12. I like a rand that's at 10. I think that's where it should be. Mm-hmm. But I'm not an economist, and I think entrepreneurs out there just they know they have no control over the rand's value. So they just deal with what they have and then work out how to make the best of it.
Now, after being at the summit, how does business in South Africa compare with other countries in the world?
Well, I think we take our infrastructure for granted and the ease of doing business here. There's the ease of doing business index is done all over, and I know there's a lot of things that we have to solve, but I can tell you I'd rather be doing business in Johannesburg than in Nairobi. Just the traffic to getting from one place to the other. What a lot of people say as an example, just thinking about that infrastructure, is that I speak about traffic, but people plan to meetings that they can only get 2 meetings in a day because it takes them 4 hours to get from one side of Nairobi to the other during midday. So So, and particularly they don't have meetings in the morning and they don't have meetings in the afternoon. So the ability to be efficient is a function of also our infrastructure. And South Africa has wonderful infrastructure, and we should really be appreciative of that. With all our problems, it's still a wonderful place to do business.
That said, what do you think that entrepreneurs in South Africa have to work on?
We have to work on export. Export is a huge opportunity, and we also have to work on our humility. South Africans, particularly in Kenya and other emerging economies, don't have a particularly good name. We seem to be quite aggressive, and we are seen to be all-knowing, that we know how it's all done. I think South Africans need to, when we go into another country, we need to listen more, learn more, and be a little bit more humble around doing business in those countries. So export is the one big opportunity. And also I think there's massive opportunity within Africa for us to set up agencies or branches, and using the current infrastructure that is there, and that's growing, and to see that as a positive. A lot of people are afraid to go into the rest of Africa. I see it as such an exciting opportunity.